Hello and welcome back to our Bible story time. I am so glad that you're here today. We're reading a story from the Lectionary Story Bible, which is by Ralph Milton. And I'm so grateful Ralph gave his permission for us to use his story. Today we're reading God Calls Samuel, based on the book of 1 Samuel 3, 1 to 10 and 11 to 20. Samuel was very young when his mother Hannah took him to live with Eli in God's house. Samuel tried very hard to be a good helper to Eli. Eli was getting very old. He couldn't see very well. Samuel ran to get things for Eli. He helped Eli with his clothes and with his food. It was hard work for Samuel because he was just a young boy. One night, Samuel helped old Eli get ready for bed. Then Samuel went to bed himself. He felt tired after helping Eli all day. As Samuel was drifting off to sleep, he thought he heard someone call his name. Samuel! Samuel! He jumped up and ran to Eli. Did you call me? Samuel asked. No, I didn't call you, said Eli. Go back to bed. So Samuel went back to bed, but he couldn't sleep. Then he heard it again. This time Samuel was sure it was a voice calling his name. Samuel! Samuel! Again, Samuel ran to Eli. No, I didn't call you, said Eli. Go back to sleep. This time, Samuel was really wide awake. Again, he heard the same voice calling, Samuel! Samuel! Since there was no one around except himself and Eli, he thought it had to be Eli. Again, he ran to Eli. No, I didn't call you, said old Eli. By now, Eli was wide awake too. Samuel, said Eli, I think maybe God is trying to talk to you. Next time you hear your name called, say, Here I am. Your servant is listening. Samuel lay on his bed waiting. There was no light except the moon shining in his small window. He felt a little bit afraid. What would God want to say to me? Samuel wondered. Does God speak to children? Shouldn't God wait till I'm grown up? Then Samuel heard the voice again. Samuel! Samuel! Here I am, said Samuel. Your servant is listening. Then God told Samuel some things Samuel didn't really want to hear. Eli is a good person, but he wasn't a good father to his sons, said God. When Eli's sons were doing evil things, Eli didn't tell them to stop. So I am going to punish Eli's whole family. Eli's sons will not be able to live in God's house the way Eli did. The next morning, Samuel tried to stay away from Eli. Samuel didn't want to tell Eli what God had said. But Eli called to him. Come and tell me what God said to you, said Eli. Tell me everything. So Samuel told Eli. Samuel cried because he could see the hurt look in his old friend's eyes. It's all right, said Eli when he saw Samuel crying. God is right. Let God do whatever is the right thing. Samuel talked with God a lot after that. As he grew older, people began to know that he was God's prophet. A prophet is someone who helps people understand how God wants them to live. People came from many places to talk to Samuel and to hear what he would tell them about God. Samuel helped many people learn to live in God's way. I love the story of Samuel because it's about a little kid, just like you, just like I was when I was living in Ontario and thought that maybe I wanted to spend a lot more time in the church. I'm so glad that you came to join us today. I hope you'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.